Hello everybody, I'm Mrs. Hubble of Forest Academy, and this is a short video just to explain what phonics is like at Forest Academy. I'm going to be telling you a little bit about what phonics is and how the different phases of phonics work, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5 and phase 6, and how we teach the letter sounds, how we refer to the letter names, all the vocabulary that we use, and what the phonics screening check looks like in year 1 for some children in year 2. So first of all, what is phonics? Phonics teaches children how to listen to sounds carefully and to identify the sounds that make up each word. Each unit of sound is called a phoneme. So that's the smallest sound that a letter or a group of letters might make. So for example, k is a phoneme, and so is a in the word play, because a makes one sound. So a phoneme is the smallest unit of sound. Here's another example. The word cat, for example, has 3 phonemes. At, which make up the word cat. And so does the word rain here. It's r, a, m for rain. A is a long vowel digraph. That has 2 letters but 1 sound. 2 letters but 1 sound, making it one phoneme. A grapheme is the way that a phoneme is written or spelled out, so it's therefore using the letters. So for example, that A sound is spelt with the letters AI to make up the sound A. The grapheme, AI, is the phoneme A. A is another phoneme here, which makes exactly the same sound, but the grapheme is AY. So they represent the same sound, but they look different. A, I, O, and A are what we would refer to as short vowels. These are the sounds for the letter names A, E, I, O, and U. To refer to these as vowels, and those are the names of those vowels. And if we look at them as short vowels, and they're A, E, I, O, and A, these are the first vowels that we teach in phase 2. As we go on through phases 3 and 5, that's when we introduce the spellings for the long vowel phonemes like this, like AI and AY. These long vowel sounds are introduced later. So we look at how we introduce the shortest, the simplest phonemes first, and once children can read simple words, then we introduce the more complicated ones. So words containing long vowel sounds or long vowel phonemes are represented in a number of ways. Just to recap the terminology that we use. A phoneme is a sound as it is said. It's the smallest unit of sound. A grapheme is a sound that is written, made up of the letters that it's written with. A digraph is 2 letters together, but it makes one sound. So for example, in the word duck is a digraph. It makes one sound, a k sound, but it's spelled with 2 letters. Here it's C and K. Trigraph is a sound or a phoneme that is made up of 3 letters. There's one sound, that's one phoneme made up of 3 letters. For example, air in the word hair, or I in the word flight or night, or even if you jump up high. That I is one sound, though it's made of 3 letters. It's referred to as a trigraph. A split digraph is where 2 letters, such as a digraph, 2 letters are split. So 2 letters that work together to make the same sound, to make one sound, separated by another letter. So the split digraphs are A, E, I, O, and U, which is also sometimes referred to as U. So, for example, in the word cube, it's a U sound. Consonant lens are 2 or 3 letters together that make a blended sound. So, and r together make the sound pr. Might be in the word pram, for example. And p make the sound m. Often it will come at the end of a word or in the middle of a word, like jump, jumping. Str together makes str. That's 3 letters together, but it still makes a blend. It might be in a word such as strap. So a blend is when you push the sounds together to read them. That's how they're blended together. You blend simple words even such as cat, as we said earlier, it's at. When you blend it, you put those sounds together. At, cat. That's how it's blended. To segment is to sound a word out, to count out the sounds, perhaps before writing, to help you spell it. So if you segment a word such as cat, you would say the word cat and you would segment it to say at. It's the opposite of blending it. It's pulling it apart again. It will help you when you write it. Often when we do segment words and write them, the children use one finger for one sound and sound out using their fingers to hold the sounds in their head before writing them out. So the English language is made up of 44 phonemes, that's referred to as sounds earlier, represented by 26 letters. These are graphemes in about 140 combinations. So you can see how spelling can get tricky when you look at all of these combinations. When you look at them in graphs such as this, it makes you think of all the sounds, all the sound patterns that you know, that you've already learned, that follow, that have the same phoneme, that look totally different. Separate graphemes used for the same sounds. These sorts of spelling patterns are taught much later in year 2 and beyond, but they're referred to as we go along and as we teach words and as they crop up, we do refer to them and make a point of how they sound the same as the phonemes that we have learned. A phoneme mat such as this and a handwriting example such as this are stuck in your child's homework book for reference. But I'll go through the sounds that match these phonemes in the next few slides, phase by phase. So you can see here there's phase 2 sound mat, phase 3 sound mat, and a phase 5 sound mat. And this is the cursive handwriting script that we use when we teach writing in our lessons. Phase 2. The Grapheme Phoneme Correspondence refers to the letter and the sound that it makes. So the letters are basically the letters of the alphabet, but they're taught in a different order, specifically to support the teaching of reading. So the children would first learn the sounds s, a, and t, I, and m. And then within those first few days and weeks of teaching, they'll learn that you can put s, a, and t together to make the word sat, or even a and t together to make the word at. You might put a p in the word and make it pat, and so on. So the letters are taught in this order specifically so the children can be empowered to read very simple words from an early stage in their reading. So I'll go through these sounds for you. They are pure sounds that we teach, so they're not elongated sounds. It's not like s or a or t. It's a clipped, short, pure sound. So a sound like s is a long sound, a is a short sound, but they're clipped and they're pure sounds. For example, s, a, t, I, d, g, o, k, e, a, r, b, o, s. Some of these letters you can see are 2 together. That's what we referred to earlier as a digraph, 2 letters together that make one sound. A double S, such as this, would come at the end of a word. For example, in grass, this double F here you can see is in the word muffin. Or these 2, this digraph here, these 2 letters are in the word rocket. Phase 3 vowel and consonant digraphs are here, and there are some digraphs also. I'll just go through the sounds and then I'll speak to you about how you can blend them in words as you would with the phase 2 phonemes, the way that you'd sound out phase 3 digraphs and trigraphs. So here we have j, v, w, x, y, z, z, qu, sh, sh, ng, a, e, I, o, u, ah, o, ow, oi, ear, air, yaw, and So for example, in the word coin, we've got k, oi, coin. There are 3 phonemes here. 4 letters, but 3 phonemes. K is one, oi is your second phoneme, and is the third. In the word night, you've got I, t, night. In the word goat, you've got g, o, t, goat. When we segment and blend words, we often use little dots underneath the letters. These are sound buttons. They help the children to identify units of sound. So these phase 2 words, they're pretty simple. They're a, pan, or t, tin. With these phase 3 words, it's just as simple, but it's just learning that E together is one sound. The ch is one sound. So it's ch, e, cheap, t, ooth, tooth, ch, air, chair, sh, arp, sharp, ite, fight. Phoneme frames also help the children to segment and blend and to sound out the phonemes that are in a word. They help you to separate the sounds to segment and blend, just like the sound buttons do in the previous slide. Here is how they'll be written on a phoneme frame. You've got the word ring here. It's r, I, ng, ring. You can see really clearly there are 3 phonemes in this word. In the word chick, there are also 3 phonemes, but 5 letters. You can see them separated in the phoneme frame. Ch, ick, chick. It's really clear to see how there are 3 phonemes, and therefore we would use 3 fingers to represent a word such as this. The same goes for night. Ite, night. This picture here shows how you might make your own phoneme frames with perhaps a cereal box or a piece of card, making up your own grid, all the phonemes that the children have learned. You can help your child to cut them up and make up their own words, just for a bit of fun. They will love sounding the words out with you. Phase 4 introduces consonant lens, either at the start or an end of a word. There are no new phonemes taught, but the phase 2 and phase 3 phonemes are consolidated within words. These are phase 4 blends, and I'll just go through them. So an ul and a p together would be ulp, coming at the end of the word. After that, ulf, ulk, pt, xt, tr, dr, gr, kr, br, fr, bl, fl, gl, pl, cl, sl, sp, st, tw, sn, pr, sk, sk, sn, nch, skr, shr, thr, str. At phase 5, alternate vowel and consonant digraphs are introduced, including split digraphs also. These are alternate sounds as the children have already learned a sound, but with different letters. So for example, they've already learned A and an I together to make A in rain and train. So now they're introduced to A with a Y together, which is the grapheme for the sound A. So I'll go through these sounds with you. There's A, ow, I, E, oi, oo, u, such as Q, or w, f, u, like a pew, and a screw. That's an oo sound, whereas that's more an ew, like in the word dew, and this is an oo, such as flu. O, or, in the word haunted or laundry. E in monkey. A, E, such as even. I, O, oo, such as flute. And U, such as cube. It's more of an oo, and there's more of a U. I'll go through these words with you as well to blend them. St, A, stay. B, boy, U, cube. Once all alternate base 5 phonemes have been introduced, we begin to introduce alternate pronunciations. For example, the letter A can make the sound A in rat, the sound A in angel, and in the word was, it actually has an O sound. So these are alternate pronunciations. The children will learn to check if it sounds right when they read it. So they might sound it as they ordinarily would. In the simplest form, they might go They might even say apple. And that doesn't sound right. They'll go angel. And then they might think to themselves, well, if it's not an it could be an A. Angel. Ch, for example, can be ch in chip. It will produce a sh sound in the word machine and a k sound in the word mechanic. And they'll do the same thing. They'll check if it sounds right when they read them. Once they learn that this grapheme, CH, it can be a ch, or a k. Once they learn that those three represent the same grapheme, then they can decide if it sounds right. I in pi is the alternate grapheme for I in the word high or for Y in the word fly. So I is an alternate grapheme for these other phonemes. However, the letters I can also be read as an alternate phoneme. E in the word shriek or thief. The letter Y also produces an E sound in the word happy. So here, Y can be used as an I or an E. This I in the word pie is an E in the word shriek. So you can see how it gets a little bit more complex. So as we teach the sounds, we teach them the most simplest form first, and then the alternate ones once the children have secured their understanding. And then the children become experts at reading all sorts of words, and it gives them such confidence for reading more interesting books, and they really love it. This brings me to pseudo words. These are nonsense words. These are not real words. We often call these alien words. The children will be taught to read phonemes, to segment and blend words for reading, whether they are real or fake. These are known as alien words. However, though they're fake, they do still follow the rules and patterns of real words. This is a relief as it makes them much easier to read. For example, the letter C in a split digraph word will make a S sound. For example, in the word nice. So once the children have learned that this letter C can make a S sound in a split digraph, nice, we'll then begin to introduce fake words for them, alien words. A fake word, an alien word, a split digraph will produce the same sound. For example, with a P, it would be read as ice, just as you would read nice, just rhyming with that. The word cheap is a real word, cheap. But this word here is not, it's eep, pleep. Though it rhymes, so it does make it much easier to read. So why do we teach alien words, these pseudo words? These nonsense words follow predictable phonetic patterns. If children have learned the common sounds of the words, they can reveal the depth of their learning in a quick assessment. Assessing nonsense words or alien words, assessing how the children read these gives us an idea of what your child might need to work on next. It tells us whether they actually have learned that phoneme properly and whether they need to learn it some more. And this is an example of some words, what we've referred to here as alien words or nonsense words with little aliens next to them. These ones are clearly not real words. These ones are clearly real words because they have no alien next to them. So when you read these, you would say rain. But just as you would read that word rain here you would say bane. Makes it much easier to read. It wouldn't be but that would be the wrong way to read it, because it does follow the same pattern as a would. The same for this word here. We've got a. So here we have a fake word, an alien word. Thrade, thrade. A split digraph word here. Cane. Stray. It can be hard thinking up nonsense words such as this, but we do give the children the opportunity to see what they like and have a go at reading them. Play lots of games with them, and then they do come up in the phonics screening check. The phonics screening check is a phonics check for children in Year 1 and Year 2 to see whether they know to see how well they know the phonemes that we've taught. It's usually made up of 40 words, and the pass mark is usually around 32 or thereabouts. Half of the words are real, such as this, and half of them are fake. So the children begin to identify how they would know whether a word is not real, and then begin to apply their knowledge of how to read the real words to reading the fake words. It assesses how well a child can read a phonetically plausible word, how well they can read by sounding out, basically. The screening check is produced in a child-friendly format, and the children barely notice that they're even being assessed. They usually enjoy just showing off their reading skills, and they love to read these to the teachers. How phonics is taught at Forest Academy. Each day, the children have a fun and lively phonics session. They revise sounds learnt or sounds within the phase they're working at. They will have one sound focus per day, and the children will practice writing this phoneme in the air and on their whiteboard or in their phonics books. They'll then practice reading words with their focus sound and match words to pictures. This is an image of what the phoneme cards might look like. I've got the phoneme A, and on the other side is a picture of children baking. It says make a cake. We teach the children rhymes to match each phoneme to help them learn them. These are some words with sound buttons already on them. We handwrite these for the children and show them how to do the sound buttons so that they can show you at home. The children also practice reading common exception words. These are words that either don't follow a phonetic spelling pattern or rule, or they just quite simply haven't been taught yet. Said is a word, for example, that does not follow a spelling rule, and it would be considered a sight word that would be learned as it is, without being segmented and blended phonetically. So you wouldn't learn to sound this out. You wouldn't say s, a, I, or s, a. You just say said. When you see it, it's a sight word, it's said. The children would be taught how to spell it out using the alphabet names. For example, they might be taught S-A-I-D, said, and then repeat it again, S-A-I-D, said. So when the children come to write it, they think, oh, I need to write the word said. They'll begin to remember, oh yes, I remember, it's S-A-I-D, said. The children will practice reading and matching words to pictures for words that they will sound out. That's the words that they segment and blend, that contain the focus sound of the day. They'll also have a go at spelling some of these words themselves, segmenting and blending with greater independence each time. They will then practice reading 2 captions at least, which contain the focus sound, and then they'll write a caption drafted together, or perhaps the teacher might dictate a sentence to them that they're able to sound out and write until they're able to think of their own captions and questions. This is an example of a caption, hands in your lap, but you'd read it by sounding it out and sound out and read more as you go on on site as the children get better at reading. So you might say and, hands in, hands in your lap, hands in your lap. As you blend each word, blend it together with the word that it comes with, so that the children actually learn that you don't just read saying your app. That's not really a sentence. You must blend that sentence after you've sounded it out, so it actually reads as a sentence in total. So it's hands in your lap after you've segmentally blended it. Ways to help your child at home. Do read with your child whenever possible. Let them choose a book or a text that they're interested in. Let them have a go at reading it and support them to read the text. So let them have a go and then sound out with them and sound out for them and tell them as you go along. Talk about the text you're reading with them. This brings reading to life and it helps them to make sense and comprehend what they're reading. Revise the tricky words that crop up by telling your child what they say and give them time to decipher words on their own, giving lots of praise as you go along. Make reading a positive and relaxing experience. And don't fret, if you have any questions, just ask. We're always here to help. I hope you enjoy learning about how we teach phonics at Forest Academy, and I hope you continue to enjoy reading with your child at home. If you do have any questions, please do ask. Just a reminder, I'm Mrs. Hubble, and I teach in Year 1, and I'm the phonics lead at Forest Academy. So if you have any questions, please do approach me in the playground or call the office and let them know that you'd like to speak to me, and I'm happy to help wherever I can. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.